Viewed millions of times, this video posted by members of a neo-Nazi group shows their encounter with Eric Ruffin Friday on the border of Evendale and Lincoln Heights.
They are chimping hard.
Ruffin says he was stopped at a light when the group approached him, masked, armed, and hurling racial slurs. You can see Ruffin brandish his firearm to show he was also armed. After pulling away, this body cam video shows an Evendale officer approach Ruffin.
You just turn it down so I can talk.
And the neo-Nazis ask police this.
You guys want
We showed Ruffin that body cam for the first time. He questions why police did not intervene.
So standing in the middle of the street, calling somebody the N-word is called ethnic intimidation. That's what I was that's what I received.
During the town hall,
the whole message was, we need to watch our back. Because right now what it is a trap being set, right? And it's very strategic. Niggas come up in the trap. Niggas glorify the trap. But believe you me, it's a motherfucking trap being set right now. You don't believe me? Just watch. Watch this. Tell me to answer me this. Google it. Google this. A white man across the country training for a race war. Google it. Just Google that. Are white men across the country training for a race war? Google it. What you'll find is that hate groups are popping up everywhere. Hate groups at our all-time high right now. There's so many different groups of people. Several different groups that hate the same type of people. I mean, I don't know who you want to name. Who you want to name? Neo-Nazis, the J6ers, Proud Boys, KKK. Pick your poison. You name who you want to name. Fill in the blank. Hate groups are everywhere, bro. They're everywhere. You don't believe me? Check this out.
It's a white country.
From Charlottesville to Seattle to Houston, white nationalist rallies and protests are popping up all over the country more frequently. Some end in violent clashes, especially when the anti-fascists or Antifa show up to counter-protest. Others, like this one in Houston, were not violent because there were no counter-protesters there. The rallies are generally set up by white nationalists and are attended by neo-Nazis and white supremacists and racists and bigots, all of whom show up to try and make a point. They have one general reason for doing so. They want to recruit other white people to their cause. The image these racist groups are hoping to convey is, look, join us. This is normal. We want a white America, and that idea shouldn't be shunned, but embraced by this country. In other words, these groups want to be normalized. According to several of the organizations that track hate groups, the number of people joining these hate groups is up, as are hate-related incidents. They saw a spike, especially during the election cycle of 2016. Here are a few reasons for that. Now, part of the rise in the numbers of people knowing about this and maybe wanting to join has to do with the internet. It has to do with marketing, if you will. These groups are on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Reddit, they have their own websites. They are trying to get their message out any way they can, and it is working. In particular, they're looking to recruit young people, college students. There are flyers, for example, going up on campuses and other public spaces, trying to show them that this is the kind of America that they really do want to live in. In other words, the hoods are off and the button-downs are in.
We've seen white supremacists try to recruit on college campuses for years. But what's different today is there has been a velocity and a volume of these efforts that we've really never seen before.
Now, I spent some time talking to a few of these neo-Nazis and some of the white nationalists and white supremacists who are trying to get their message out. White nationalist Jared Taylor, who sat down and talked with me, said that he wasn't a racist. On the other hand, he also told me that he believed that black people are, by their very nature, less intelligent than whites.
If whites do nothing, they will be reduced to a minority in which their culture is a sideshow.
He says his online publication is more popular than it ever has been before. Then you have guys like Robert Ray, otherwise known as Asmodor. Now, he's a contributor to one of the most popular and disturbing neo-Nazi websites.
I hate the Jews because they are behind all this. And they have been doing this for 2,000 years.
The neo-Nazi website that he writes for fully endorsed Donald Trump because the people behind the website believe that Donald Trump is with them. Why do they believe that? Because of his xenophobic language during the campaign and also because of his mixed messages on what happened in Charlottesville.
Now, how are we supposed to operate as a society with some shit like that going on? I feel like they chose Lincoln Heights strategically. This is a historical black city, not just community, a whole city, historically black. I'm from Cincinnati, bro. I'm from Cincinnati, bro. And my whole life living here. Lincoln Heights has been uniquely different from the rest of the city. Let me get some water, man. I don't know if you heard me. Lincoln Heights, aka Zone 15, is different. It's always been. It's like an aura, like it's like something around them in that area. It's different. I never knew about the history of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. I grew up here my whole life. I never knew the significance. I just knew that Zone 15, the niggas was different. I just knew things was different out there. You know what I mean? That's what I knew. But to see the historical significance in Zone 15, you probably wonder what I'm talking about. I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you a video, man, right now, man, about Lincoln Heights. Zone 15, but first, I'm gonna wait. Here go the video, though, right here.
Black families dispersed across the Cincinnati area, some found haven just north of the city limits, the state's first incorporated Black city, Lincoln Heights.
A historical African-American community that has been truly decimated by social injustice. I tell everybody that you want to talk about the microcosm of the African-American experience, you just walk into exit 13 off of, I-75 and Lincoln Heights, you get the whole microcosm from its inception to where we are now.
Incorporated in 1947, Lincoln Heights was the first self-governed Black community north of the Mason-Dixon line. Residents first began the process of incorporation in 1939, but were immediately met with opposition by neighboring white communities. Incorporation of Lincoln Heights would have created the ability to collect revenue from taxes on property and businesses to support the development of public services, basic services that were available to their neighbors in Woodlawn, Lockland, and Evendale. But an incorporated Lincoln Heights meant competition that would draw industry and business from their white neighbors. Nearly 10 years after first petitioning for incorporation, the county finally approved Lincoln Heights' application, but not before dividing up nearly 90% of the city's land to its white neighbors. When all was said and done, Lincoln Heights was reduced to less than 1 square mile.
The shape of Lincoln Heights has this scoop out, right? And if you compare that shape to the map, you'll see that, oh, that's the industrial corridor. That's where all the businesses were. That's where a community would have its tax base, right? And so the potential for Lincoln Heights to earn money as a community, to have income-producing taxable properties was taken away by the surrounding municipalities just chomping up the land that should have been Lincoln Heights.
The fact that you have an African-American community, a historical African-American community, and the scars that are left just by the shape of it, it kind of just talks about the disposability of it, you know what I mean?
What was left for the residents of Lincoln Heights included no major factories, no industrial tax base. Wright Aeronautical wanted to build B-29 bombers on the land that belonged to Lincoln Heights, but the plant's developers objected to operating on land owned by a Black community, so the county gave the land to the new white community, Evendale. Today, that plant continues to operate as part of the sprawling General Electric aviation program.
B&O railroad track, and the railroad track behind GE over there, I think New York Central. I'm not for sure, but it's a railroad track right behind GE. That was supposed to have been Lincoln Heights community. Because you had a whole lot of, over there where GE plant is now, you had a whole lot of Black people living over there too.
From an economic standpoint, the structural violence against Lincoln Heights handed down by county commissioners continues to pay dividends for neighboring Evendale. There, the average household income is nearly $170,000 compared to $34,000 in Lincoln Heights. The system is working just as it was designed for both Evendale and Lincoln Heights, a design built intentionally for differential and disparate outcomes by race, defined by place.
With the YouTube Music app,
by race, defined by place. For more than 70 years, Cincinnati police have operated a gun range that sits on the northern edge of the city. On the day we visited, gunfire could be heard all over the town, even over the deafening noise of cicadas. The gun range sits adjacent to a public housing complex and a playground.
I'm sending kids out to the playground to hear gunshots. And I would love to ask the question, because I've never been able to get a straight answer. I would love to ask the question of how do you have Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority houses there, which is Mariana Terrace, we call it the projects. Like, how do you have that next to, something else that's owned by the city of Cincinnati?
Pause to consider the reality of the children of Lincoln Heights who have had to digest a steady diet of images of police murdering unarmed Black people across the U.S., while living with the soundtrack of police officers training to use deadly force, day in and day out, right in their backyard.
just for, I guess, posterity's sake, is Cincinnati Police Department, the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, U.S. Marshals, Evendale Police, as well as SWAT, sniper training, all is conducted on the site. So there's roughly, I'm gonna say 38,000 gun training hours per year. They shoot 300 days a year, 6 days a week, 7 hours a day. And again, it's been 74 years, but when we were growing up, it was sun up to sundown. You could hear gunshots at any point.
While the sonic toxicity is obvious, the harm to property values is also a toll. After all, who wants to purchase a home with gunfire as a steady feature of the neighborhood soundtrack? With no industrial tax base, Lincoln Heights struggled to support its own school system. Despite the financial struggles, Lincoln Heights High School produced many athletic and scholarly stars, such as world-renowned poet Nikki Giovanni and Tony Yates, who went on to play in the NBA and become the University of Cincinnati's first African-American men's basketball coach. But integration of public education and financial woes led to the closing of Lincoln Heights High School when it merged with nearby Princeton City Schools.
Growing up in Lincoln Heights, truthfully, we did not know we were poor because everybody shared about the same thing. It was an all-black school. We had black teachers, and they stood for no mess, but they were very professional. They came to school teaching in their shirts and ties and suits. The ladies were very elegant, and they wanted nothing but the best for you.
Tell me from an educational standpoint that it got better, I don't know, because we had more folks that went to college when it was Lincoln Heights High School.
And an aching sense of otherness became apparent as a sense of community was lost.
I can remember in English, the teacher said, "I'd like to know what your goals are in high school." And one of my goals was to make the A honor roll. And he kind of laughed. And I thought that was an incentive to prove to him that I could make an A in English.
In integrated environments, Black students oftentimes face scorn and doubt from students and educators. Bob Johnson, who grew up in Lincoln Heights, and Maxine Yates, who grew up in neighboring Glendale, persevered and thrived in Cincinnati despite the odds. Durance Daniels and Carlton Collins are working to rebuild Lincoln Heights on the dreams of their ancestors and the hopes of today's children.
At the end of the day, you can still persist. You can still progress. You can still build something. Like you could build a legacy.
Now a Lincoln Heights council member, Durance Daniels is taking his grandparents' home here in Lincoln Heights and transforming it into an innovation center, a place where the youth of Lincoln Heights can hone their business skills, create and innovate, and foster vitality for the community.
Everything from a financial standpoint that you'll be able to learn will take place right in this room.
A place to nurture hope.
Learn about crypto and get...
So, I wanted to say this, man. I wanted to say this real quick. And this is for the record, for everybody, all my followers that may not know, anybody that might see this that may not know. Because recently, I've come to understand that people really just don't know. But I'm here to tell you. Contrary to your beliefs about Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Akron, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, all these places, Black people are there. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. Excuse me. I grew up in Cincinnati. I ain't never seen nothing but hood people. Straight ghetto, hood, black people. And when I finally traveled out of town, I was like, oh, they just the same as Cincinnati. They just like where I came from. And the fact that people don't think that there's black people in Ohio or the Midwest, they like, oh, of course this happened. It's Ohio. Like, no. What do you mean? That don't make sense. So I'm here to say that. Like, that don't make sense, bro. Ohio is Ohio. And yeah, there's niggas here, bro. And we can't go for that. So I'm sorry. Anyway, they all of them people that thought they was about to come here, you saw them pull out on them U-Haul trucks. They thought they was about to do something, but I don't know. Since you know how them cities be, you know how people, let's say you get a guy that's shorter in stature. He might be a short guy and this and that. He might have this small man complex. That shit is real, right? Same goes with cities. The mentality of the city could be arrogant if it's a big city, or it can be dangerous if it's a small city. You know what I mean? Like, if the people in the city feel like they got something to prove to be in comparison with a Detroit, it's more dangerous, right? So when people feel like they got something to prove, they're more dangerous. Either way it go, I'm just saying, when these neo-Nazis decide to pop up, I'm just saying they gonna fuck around and find out. Like wrong place, wrong time type shit. You know what I mean? Like, because like people are already all the way fed up with a whole bunch of other stuff. And then here you come with this. Now
Get my cousin. I know. Okay. All right. If you could calm him down.
Let's get out of here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I
know.
What's up? It's a war, bitch.
Sir, if you don't mind. I know.
Y'all need to get them the out of here.
But
this is bullshit.
I know.
It's causing a ruckus. Y'all about to get down with us do that in our own neighborhood. Stop playing!
Sir, get back, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all got mask on because y'all bitches!
Sir, get back.
You got a mask on because you a bitch!
Sir, get back. Get back.
I got my own house. I pay property taxes, bitch!
Sir.
I own my
Sir, get back.
I own my
Sir.
Don't do it. I own my
You understand why we're out here?
My guys aren't going to
get over 21. That incident's been resolved. Nobody's like on point.
Headed down here. We can get out of here.
Okay.
And we might need an escort. We got a vehicle right over there, a Jeep with a dog in it. One of our guys need to be escorted right over there.
Okay. Can you guys start by taking the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get that all
Yes,
taken
sir.
care of, okay?
Yes, sir.
How y'all gonna let them come in our community and do this, man?
They are allowed to protest.
And we are too.
Right.
Don't give it to them. This is what they want. No, it's just
Stop. Hey, come on. Hey, mother. It's not worth it. Sir, stop. Get the fuck out of here. No. Hey, come on. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I got the wrong neighborhood. Guys, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. They ain't gonna come to y'all neighborhood and do that shit. It's not worth it, guys. Hey, it's not worth it. They gotta go. Hey, get them out of here. Get them out of here. They better go. They're leaving. Right now. Let me see your They're leaving. It's not worth it. What y'all want to do? Hey, wrong neighborhood. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let's get it. Get your shit. Get out of here. We'll get that. Just, it ain't, man. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Back, bro. It ain't worth it. Back. It ain't worth it. Back, guys, back. Bro, it ain't worth it, man. It is. It's not worth it. You know it is. It ain't worth it for these ignorant ass people. Hey. Guys, y'all gotta get out of here. It's not worth it. They're leaving. Get that up out of here. Get your bitch ass out of here. Yeah, these bitch ass playing. We put their ass in the U-Haul and stick them hell. We put them in the U-Haul.
Hey, I gotta go talk to them. They got a car up there still. So we're gonna have to figure out how the hell they're gonna get that, because they can't just walk up there and grab it now. We dogging it?
I don't know. Why y'all, what made y'all come over here?
Blue? Yep. Yes, but unfortunately they left one of their vehicles here. Residents have started to destroy it. They've blasted all the tires. Unfortunately, there's a service dog inside. Lincoln Heights. Yeah. So we don't know what to do. We're trying to. We actually got. Yeah. So
we're gonna need to get a tow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to tow it out of here.
He know it without a shadow of a doubt, and that's crazy that you allowed him to do that.
I like how you're putting words in my mouth.
That's how you feel, because you allowed it. You stood on it because you allowed it. You're here to protect and serve. You did not serve, because guess what? You got allowed them to drive off in the U-Haul, man. You allowed them to drive off in the U-Haul. Human beings not allowed to drive around in the back of the U-Haul. It's illegal.
We were dispersing them because you guys were coming up.
You let them drive off in the U-Haul. That's wrong.
Yes, and then we got them in vehicles and they're heading back home.
So you protected them then. So you cool. You feel how they feel. You feel how they feel about us, man.
What do you think? What do you think I do? I protect and serve. Guess what?
Not
the BLM,
not black
right?
people.
Listen.
Not black people.
Listen.
You don't protect and serve us, man. Because guess what? If you did, you wouldn't have allowed to do all this.
I know you're upset. I'm upset too. Do you think I want to be out here? Do you think I want to be doing this? Do you think I agree with their ideology? I don't. But listen, okay? When the BLM protests, guess what? When they were saying kill officers, kill pigs, guess what I did? I sat there and protected their rights of free speech. I have to do the same for them. I disagreed with the BLM ideology and I disagree with theirs.
Now niggas ready to go to jail. Let's go. To prove a point type shit, like, because you're not gonna come here and do this and that's why they got ran off. Had they stood there and thought about talking shit back, they would have got their asses busted. Pause. No Diddy. All that. They decided to retreat. Hopped in the U-Haul and bounced. Cool. But the thing is that they just gonna regroup and move on to the next city. Do their thing again. Recruit more people, because you better believe somebody saw them and was inspired. They wanted to be down. And that's their whole goal. Get more people down with them. That's all they trying to do. That's all they trying to do. And they gonna be provocative. They gonna be antagonistic. They gonna be all that to stir the pot, to get more people to back them. They gonna do their best to try to make us look crazy. That's what we're gonna point it out. They crazy. They this and that. Whole time, these the racist motherfuckers. But they got the police with them. Oh, don't get me started. That's how they do it. They get me started. Now I can't. Anyway. I done showed you all I got. Let me clear my. I done showed you all I got, man. And I just wanted to ask you, leave in the comments. If you got this far, leave in the comments. Is there a race war brewing in this country? Do we gotta go by the motto, we gonna stay ready so we ain't gotta get ready? Like I said, white men are training every day around this country. For what? They in training, they got groups. They training, they going shooting, they going running, they going swimming. They getting in shape and they practicing. For what? Is there a race war brewing? Hey, holler at me. Let me know what you think. Until next time, this has been your boy, Big Tay. This has been the Pass the Peace podcast. Holler back.